G'day everyone, Jason Nunn from Fisherman's Warehouse Marine, Sweet Street at Warners Bay, your Newcastle Honda marine dealer, and of course the backdrop here, Dora Creek. Bit of a change. We've just come back from the Sydney Boat Show. Pat and I had the opportunity to duck down today and have a bit of a look around. One of the things we really wanted to have a look at was the new Honda 350, and what an absolute beast of an engine. Magnificent. And so anyone that's going down, obviously that's a little bit busy, but mate, it's always nice to get away for a day and go down, but some really good engines down there. But one to look out for, that big 350. And of course, we've talked about it the last couple of weeks, guys. Bluefin tuna, and it did happen. It turned up last Saturday off the Southern Canyons. Yellowfin tuna and bluefin. Young Kai and his dad, Damo. Well done, guys. 76 kilogram bluefin tuna, the largest by a junior angler, I might add. That's a tremendous effort. And Dad with a 54 kilo one. Look, great fishing. I know Matty Smith was out there. Dave Tucker, 64.5 kilogram yellowfin tuna. So, mate, plenty of fish out there. A lot of fish busting up, piling out of the water, chasing souries and everything else. But of what to mention, 5 bluefin caught, numerous dropped, 3 yellowfin weighed. A couple of the boys from Pelican RSL. I know Simon Muscat, a great fish, 56 kilo yellowfin tuna cleaned. So that's a great effort. I know Peter Strasmeyer, he was out there as well. Fish around about 37, 38 kilo clean, because those boys got to clean their fish with the recreational. But what a great effort. We've been talking about for weeks. Finally, the opportunity to get out there. This weekend, let's have a think about it. Look, big seas, overcast. We know what's been happening all week. But on the weekend, Saturday doesn't look too bad. Starts to settle in. Sunday, Monday in particular look quite good with those variable winds, northwest, a little bit south, but nothing really over 10 to 15, and that sea starts to back away. Our next southerly change, unfortunately, guys, looks like it's going to be Wednesday, so we've only got a little window of opportunity to basically make hay while the sun shines. The seas hopefully will settle down, guys, and on the back of these tremendously big seas, they're up to like 4, 5, 6 metres through the week. As it starts to back down, we're going to see some tremendous fishing off our part of the coast, and certainly up towards Port Stephens for snapper. Those deep water reefs, the farm down towards Texas and alike, they'll produce some very, very good snapper. But I reckon this inshore fishery is going to come alive. There's a lot of colour in the water, a lot of sediments being stirred up as a result of these big seas. Once it starts to settle, certainly, you know, working your tides. I mean, you've got a very early tides, of course, Saturday morning around about 7:45, high tide, a 1 o'clock low tide on Saturday afternoon, so that morning tide perfect, and a new moon on Sunday, basically meaning virtually totally dark. So it's going to be good, and snapper like that water being a little bit discoloured, so I just think worth the while, probably Sunday being the better of the days, and even Monday, but I think there's going to be some great reports on our report from next week on what's actually happened, and hopefully a few more of these bluefin and yellowfin tuna off the coast. It's about time. All the beaches, well guys, it's just been gouged out, and it's very hard to understand what's actually going to go on until it starts to settle down. Salmon tailor for sure, and definitely a few brim, but you're going to need to move around. Everyone that I'm talking to is just saying what beach. It's all been eroded away. The rock fishermen, you're going to need to have it settle down a little bit, guys. I think by Saturday it should start to settle down a little bit. And just be careful if you're going rock fishing, say Saturday, because there still will be that residual swell coming through, so you're going to have to be really, really careful. But on the back of that, no doubt tailor, but I still reckon there'll be some really good snapper getting caught off the rocks, and definitely drummer, ludrick and brim. So a good opportunity, probably Saturday afternoon maybe, but certainly Sunday, Monday, looking excellent. The lake itself, guys, plenty of tailor around. We had an opportunity to have a bit of a troll with Lucas and Mr. Banks there on Friday, just had a bit of a muck around. We went out to the triangle that we always talk about, and there was probably 6 or 7 boats out there, and everyone periodically was stopping. So everyone was catching fish. A lot of bait around, a lot of big bait schools, particularly around Cole Point, back across into Rathmines there. A lot of bait. We didn't get any of those real good fish that are around those 60 centimetre fish, but still a lot of fish in and rounds about, you know, those 40s, 45s, the odd 48. There was enough for us to take a feed, and we let a heap go, but it was great. Watched one of the other fellas just drifting through those bait schools. Watched him gill a really nice mulloway, just vibing the bottom. And there was numerous guys out there drifting as well, working the schools for flathead, and we've seen a few of those guys get netted. So that triangle area fishing very, very well. But I'm getting some really good reports from the Northern Lake, and all week this week there's been plenty of bird life, particularly up around that Warners Bay area, even around the Esplanade there. A lot of birds working, so there must be a lot of tailor and salmon that have basically moved back up in through there. The southern end of the lake still producing some really good tailor and salmon, but a lot of bream, and I did get a chance to speak to Bobby Mowbray about those blue swimmer crabs. Some really nice crabs in the lake too, guys. So the weekend looking encouraging. The bream guys, that run-in tide will work well, and those bigger tides of a night, basically at this time, I think it's like around about a 1.86 high tide Saturday night and Sunday night. So some big tides, the opportunity to get in those shallows, particularly around the fringes of the lake or in and around that drop over area, possibly at the back of the Spectacle Islands there, and to have a bit of a crack at some of these bream. A lot of fish will be in Salts Bay, so do not discount Salts Bay at the moment. No doubt with a lot of sediment on the water, a lot of those salmon tend to be on the bottom in the bay, and last weekend, and particularly Saturday afternoon, they were gathered at the heads, and there was a lot of salmon basically just up north of the boat ramp over at Coon Island there, particularly as it just goes around. There was salmon everywhere through the water column on that run-in tide. So guys, plenty of opportunity to get out there. I know we've had some really good reports out of Newcastle Harbour, few mulloway, but there's been a few flatties up the river, but some big ludrick in Newcastle Harbour, fish up to 48 centimetres. So we're seeing some very big fish happening in the harbour. So no doubt Port Stephens and of course Swansea will be the same. That big swell drives a lot of fish in. Let's get out this weekend. Hopefully we might get out Sunday, and I might be skiting a little bit more next report, I hope, but we'll have to see how it goes. Weather permitting, have a great weekend, and I'll see you next week.